Maitri Bhavana, Reflections on Being a True Friend. The Bar Bhavanas, or 12 reflections of Jainism, underscore the terrifying karmic truth of the material samsaric universe. This knowledge of 12 reflections spurs one to understand the Jain way of ideal living. Towards this, the scriptures have proclaimed four supplementary bhavanas: Maitri, Pramod, Karuna, and Madhyastha. These teachings serve to perfect our daily interactions with both the living and the non-living worlds. At the outset, one must deeply understand that most of the mental discordance that we undergo while attempting spiritual growth is because our minds are not steeped in or trained by these 12 reflections. It is as if a 2-year-old is attempting to lift a record weightlifting championship title. Reflecting on these four supplementary bhavanas helps develop a trained, spiritually fit mind frame which leads to continual behavior that is worthy of moksha, our ultimate destination. These reflections nurture the virtue of universal brotherhood, sincere goodwill, and appreciation of another's success, a spirit of compassion and abiding patience. Spiritual pursuits like these inevitably serve to slowly replace unseen vices like enmity, jealousy, cruelty, and impatience, thereby transforming one's inner space towards becoming a more accommodative, appreciative, and compassionate soul. Moreover, such contemplation motivates a genuine seeker to gradually change his or her mental approach to life and consequent behavioral patterns. While a yogi's only goal is to immerse himself or herself in dhyan or meditation, these reflections, these bhavanas are gifted to ordinary mortals like us to create a meditative atmosphere imbibed with equilibrium. Lifted by these bhavanas can draw into itself the dharmic essence of daily rituals like puja, samayak, and pratikaman. Without knowledge and practice of these bhavanas, these reflections, they remain dry rituals. It is a well-known fact that it is good thought that inevitably leads on to good speech and good acts. Thus, let us study these bhavanas and work on developing the foundation of good thoughts. Maitri Bhavana is the first of the supplementary bhavanas. Jainism explains that Maitri should go beyond just feeding someone to satisfy hunger. Its scope is to teach a man to earn his meal for a lifetime. Moreover, monetary care can extend only to this lifetime, but teaching one to live a life free of violence and anger can put one firmly on the path to moksha in lifetimes to follow. Colloquially, Maitri is often translated as a casual friendship, yet in the Shastras of Jainism, it is exquisitely extended to include universal brotherhood. If one plumbs the depth of this simple word, it would truly amaze a modern self-centered mind. Jain scriptures explain us the concept of Maitri. Maitri involves caring for everyone's happiness, being concerned about everyone's well-being, having feelings for everyone's physical, mental, emotional, and above all, spiritual well-being. What immense, unimaginable magnitude of care that encompasses spiritual welfare. Throughout our history, all enlightened masters have sought the ultimate spiritual bliss state for each and every living being. Not a single being should be sad. That is the meaning of Maitri. Arihant Paramatma too, in their previous lives, sincerely wished that if they had the capacity, they would make everyone happy. This desire depicts a caring nature which involves deep concern for everyone. This is the universal ethos contained in the single word Maitri. Happiness is a state of mind. It originates within and is nurtured by the mind. Arihant Paramatma knew that mind is the only abode of happiness. One can never experience true happiness by external material possessions or relationships. Happiness is simply a byproduct of our mind. Truly, a mind can make a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven. The choice is always ours. One may have ample fame, name, wealth, and vigor, yet a mind corrupted with constant complaints.
On the other hand, one with no material or social standing to speak of may have diligently trained his mind through right knowledge. Such a person would naturally exhibit true wisdom by having no complaints. Thus, happiness is a result of developing a mental framework via the correct processing of thoughts. Possessing the mystical and practical keys to happiness, the benevolent Arihant Paramatma wished that all would follow their footsteps. Their magnanimous concept of Maitri enfolds every single living being within the circle of their love. Such universal love seeks to relieve mankind of emotional bondages born out of sensual pleasures and passions. Maitri Bhavana simultaneously seeks to inculcate a deep adoration of Jin Shasan in souls sincerely willing, wanting to evolve on the spiritual ladder. Jin Shasan is the three-lane highway to happiness that consists of darshan, gyan, and charitra. These are the three jewels of Jainism: right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. Here are some examples of epitome of Maitri in Jainism. Muni Surat Swami, the 20th Tirthankar, travelled on foot from Ayodhya in UP to Bharuch in Gujarat in one night. The reason was to rid a horse of the evil thoughts. Lord Mahavir purposely entered into a dense forest to free a snake named Chandakaushik of intense anger. The horse and the snake both were physically comfortable in their respective lives, but their negative thoughts and intense anger would have transported them deep down to the pits of hell. The Paramatmas could look through them, beyond their bodies, into their souls. They cared for the well being of their souls. This was the true Maitri Bhavana in action. Philosopher Dennis Waitley eloquently put it: happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, or won. It is a spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. Maitri Bhavana is a reflection aimed at cultivating a mind, freeing it from narrow, selfish motives and expanding its scope of compassion to encompass every living being's happiness. Being concerned about another's happiness itself is Maitri, more than just a literal translation of a friendly feeling. The writer, Stephen Kendrick, accurately states, almost every sinful action committed can be traced back to a selfish motive. It is a trait we hate in other people, but justify in ourselves. For one to be submerged in feelings of Maitri, one should be determined to be happy, to know the right way to be happy, to follow the right way to be happy. Such determination leads to a yearning to befriend every being, because only when we know how to make ourselves happy can we make others happy. This will then compel us to change our perspective from being self centered to being a super generous soul. Maitri develops magnanimity. Only when we introspect can we realize whether we truly harbor and nurture care for everyone, or our concern is limited and bound to the selfish circle of our family and friends. Certainly, we care about our parents or our children, but have we ever considered the fact that there are others like them? And who knows whether those whom we are neglecting or hurting today have been our parents or children in the past birth? If we are not so myopic as to see only the present, but can we view our soul selves against the vast backdrop of infinite times, past and future? Only then we shall truly be able to cultivate the feelings of Maitri. Let us rise from the depth of pettiness to the height of universal love and amity. It is worth studying this Sanskrit shlok from Yoga Shastra, the 12th text that aptly and beautifully describes this bhavana. May nobody commit any kind of sin. May nobody be sad or unhappy. May this whole world attain moksha, that pure, blissful state of the soul. Truly, a mind frame full of such all embracing love amply demonstrates Maitri. An analysis of this shlok makes one realize that Maitri embraces two feelings, one of love and the other concern for spiritual well being. May nobody be unhappy. This wish is a result of love. May nobody commit any sin. Reflected concern for spiritual welfare. On studying Jain scriptures, one can know and understand different life forms, their needs and their emotions. Thereafter, he or she can decide wisely as to the type of interaction mutually beneficial for his or her soul as well as the other souls. Unless one is convinced in his heart and intellect that sins are directly proportionate to sufferings, the feeling of love will not culminate and overflow into empathy for another's spiritual growth. Thus, Maitri is one of the root bhavnas on which the tree of spirituality must be founded. Jain scriptures mention that for developing Maitri, one should have to be Santo, means being calm, not being excited or agitated, keeping our anxiety at bay. Danto means controlling our likes and dislikes for all sensual objects. Khanto means being forgiving, letting go the shortcomings of others, mistakes of others, being calm and patient. Being Santo makes our mind frame steady. Being Danto makes it pure and pristine. And Khanto makes it broad and generous. Nobody in this world can disturb a person who has become Santo, Danto, and Khanto. Such a person would have no complaints and would be able to accept all situations and all kinds of people with ease. Calmness along with self-control goes a long way. And when this calmness is combined with generosity of mind, there would be no ill thoughts or animosity for anyone. This would gradually culminate into Maitri, the deep concern for each life's well being. One who has contemplated on Maitri Bhavana is able to develop the feelings of Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu. All living beings are like me. We all share the same emotions of joy and grief. They means all living beings experience comfort and pain just as I do. So I should take care that I don't hurt them. The one who has these feelings shall be able to imbibe Maitri. Only such person can be truly happy. The materialistic world today leaves very little space for developing Maitri. The wrong notion that my materialistic possessions make me happy makes everyone strive for more. And if someone tampers with their possessions, spoils it, steals it, destroys it, or even eyes it, they are bound to get annoyed. And this gives rise to anger, which paves way for animosity between each other. Person who understands the philosophy of karma is convinced that in reality nothing is mine and there is no injustice in this world. This understanding stops him from blaming others. As a result, he has no adverse feelings or animosity for anyone. He can easily forgive everyone and so can love everyone. Only can such a person be an impartial friend to all. A person whose mind is not incensed with Maitri cannot even study the scriptures deeply and at peace leave alone, imbibing them in his life, for his mind is constantly distorted and distracted. One whose mind is full of Maitri would love everyone. Without Maitri, love for a specific person would automatically imply hatred for another. At the outset, let us ask ourselves, have we decided not to be sad or bitter or unhappy? Now, let us expand our circle to our family. Do we sincerely wish that they should never be unhappy? Let us stretch our boundaries even further to include our friends, acquaintances, relatives, staff, etc. Do we wish that they should not be upset, disturbed, stressed, or unhappy? At least not by me. Going further, would we like a community to be happy, irrespective of anything they might have done to us, or thoughts like they deserve what they are getting, overcome our tender thoughts of love and concern. How about our countrymen? Do we ever think of their happiness? Do we wish that the humankind as a whole be happy? If at all there are humans elsewhere, would we wish or pray for their happiness too? Would we wish that our other living beings, such as animals, should live a happy life, or plants should also receive gentle care and affection? The world is not just limited to humans. Thus, if our prayer for happiness encompasses all that has the slightest of life, be it humans or animals, plants or insects, celestial beings or hellish beings, it would itself become a reflection on Maitri Bhavana. As a result of this reflection, we would never want anybody to suffer for our happiness. Consequently, we would think twice before walking on those green lawns, only to trample upon those numerous life forms in the form of grass. We would empathize instead with those tiny leaves that are also living beings like me. They would also be hurt. How can I hurt them for my pleasure? Someone may have spoiled our day, may have damaged our business, ruined our house, wrecked our marriage, maligned us or our family, done injustice to us, stolen our wealth, spoilt our image, betrayed us, lobbed with our wife, sister, or daughter, bitten us or thrashed us, taken away our share, cheated us, and walked off with the prize. Whatever they may have done, can we sincerely pray that, oh, dear God, please make them happy, don't let them suffer? An ideal to live by is Paramatma Mahavir, whose heart was so at flow with Maitri Bhavana that he had tears in his eyes for the Sangam Dev who had tortured him continuously for 6 months. Before Lord Mahavir knew how much he would have to suffer for his misdeeds, even though Paramatma wished that nobody should be unhappy, he would not be able to free Sangam from the clutches of karmas that Sangam had accumulated. Well, this is Maitri Bhavana. It seems difficult, but it is not impossible. It is a joy in itself to keep wishing for everyone's happiness. If we think that all the world is my family, nobody should be hurt because of me. Nobody should be hurt by my mistake, my nature, my way of talking, my way of ordering, my expectations, or my demands. If they have hurt me, I should always forgive them, knowing that they just done it on the orders of King Karma. It is not their fault, the fault is mine. It is I who accumulated such karmas that makes them act the way they do. They are ignorant and innocent, and I hope that they never face any troubles. May they always be at peace. May they be rewarded with a true guru with a good insight of dharma and the faith in God. Once such thoughts become a constant, we would be no stranger to the joyous concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole universe is my family. Then closeness or concern will not have to be cultivated, it will flow naturally. For example, in his previous life form, Adeshwar Bhagwan as Dhan Sartvaha was a businessman. He wanted to go abroad to earn. He thought to himself, if I wish to earn, everyone else must be also wishing for the same. Let me invite them to come with me. This is Maitri Bhavana personified. Once the wish that everyone should be happy is manifested in our minds, the immediate thought would be, I hope they do not fall prey to sensual pleasures and passions that are the root cause of sins of all kinds, which are in turn the cause of all sufferings and unhappiness. There enters the third phase of this bhavana, wherein the seeker would wish that may the whole universe attain moksha, the blissful state which is each soul's intrinsic nature. World over, there may be big talks about universal brotherhood, peace, and friendship. But the more we ponder over this bhavana, the more we shall realize that true brotherhood should be ingrained in all of us through this bhavana. Maitri Bhavana has the strength to enliven a mind full of hatred and despair. It brings meaning to life by developing an aim to love everyone and accept them for what they actually are. Although this seems to be a lofty goal and it is not impossible. And as Eleanor Roosevelt has said, since you get more joy out of giving joy to others, you should put a great deal of thought into the happiness that you are able to give. Let us today end with a note that if I cannot make somebody happy, at least let me see to it that I don't make anybody sad or unhappy. Of course, this bhavana requires a major change in our attitude and our way of living. It will be difficult to develop, but the rewards will guarantee that the efforts was worth it. Thank you.